Greetings and welcome. This is your host for VIOC In Action, Athniel Bobbie Thomas. I want to welcome you here to VIOC In Action, the radio show for the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee, where we'll make a serious effort to give you all the information about the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee. Got a great show for you today, including an interview with super heavyweight boxer Clayton Laurent and a quick snippet of the VIOC moment in history. Alrighty. We are here, VIOC in action, and on the line with us today we have a boxer for the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee. Let's allow him to give an introduction of himself. Go right ahead, sir.
What's going on, my VIP people, man? It's a pleasure to be on the show. You're speaking with Clayton Laurent Jr., the current super heavyweight representative for the Virgin Islands. How you doing?
Clayton Laurent, super heavyweight boxer. Now, for those of us who are not deep into boxing, for the Olympic scene, what kind of weight class is super heavyweight? Is that above a certain amount, or is it in a range?
Well, the super heavyweight weight class varies. You have guys coming in from anywhere from 201 pounds all the way to 400 pounds, all depending on the size and the style of shape that they're in. So you have guys from 200 plus. That's basically the weight class.
Awesome.
201, you're in my weight class.
And you welcome all challengers, I'm sure.
Definitely.
No, we're here VIOC in action, and we basically are here to kind of spread the word about the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee from every aspect. Sometimes we sit and we talk with coaches. We've spoken with some of the leadership from the Olympic Committee, and it's always awesome to speak with some of the athletes. And guess what? You are the first, I think you're the first athlete for the 2016 show. And welcome aboard. You're going to hold the flag like you were the flag bearer in, where was it? Was it
Toronto, Canada?
Toronto, Canada for the Pan American Games. And that was
Yes,
for
sir.
2015.
Yes, sir.
What kind of experience was that? I mean, you know, it's more when you're involved with Olympic sporting events, Olympic committees and stuff. It is definitely more than just competing. So you had the pleasure of representing Team ISV during the, what was it, the opening or the closing ceremony?
The closing ceremony.
The closing ceremony. So give us a little idea about how that experience was.
I mean, well, you know, to sum it up in words, it was just amazing. You know, I have to give the jacket, and the Olympic Committee has made very what it is. You know, the Olympic Committee, I would not be the fighter that I am, and I wouldn't have the experience that I've had over these years. You know, it was my second Pan American Games that I've attended representing the Virgin Islands. My first was in 2011 in Guadalajara, Mexico, for the 2011 Pan American Games. And this was my second time representing the country. And I mean, with each tournament I'm a privilege to be a part of, it gets better and better. You know, Canada was amazing. It's everything everybody said it would be. It was clean. The people were nice. They were friendly. I mean, I had a blast of a time from seeing Niagara Falls to going on the falls itself. I mean, the experience was just tremendous. Outside of just competing and just being around some of the best athletes in the world, you know, you have Team USA that was there. You have many basketball players who you watch on TV was actually there playing in the Pan American Games, you know, so it was an experience that was mind-blowing.
And imagine, imagine that you're a super heavyweight boxer, and you're a fan of some of these people that are participating, you know, so that must be awesome to not only be a participant, but to get there and be a big fan.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's crazy, you know, to see these people on TV and then to be sharing at the same living quarters with them, the same cafeteria, and they're like a stone's throw away. And, you know, when you're at home in the board, and as you watch them on TV, man, I'd like to meet this person. And it's like, yo, I just passed this dude in the cafeteria, you know? It's definitely mind-blowing. I'm so excited to be getting ready for the Olympic qualifiers for 2016 and to definitely represent the country in the 2016 Olympics. And that's going to be another experience first for me. So I'm so excited, and I mean, again, I can't thank the Olympic Committee anymore for what they're doing. They're so unrecognized within the community because they have done so much for the Virgin Islands when it comes to the sporting aspect, and sometimes you don't get to give them enough recognition for what they're doing, and
And I guess that's what
without
we're
them, there
doing
would be no
here.
us.
Well, that's what we're doing here is trying to let people know that indeed the members of the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee is working hard, and it's not a passing thing. It's a full time effort to make sure that
Yes, sir.
everything is in place for the athletes. Now you mentioned that you're getting ready to attend some qualifiers for to try to get to Rio. Where would
Yes,
your
sir.
qualifier be?
The qualifier is going to be in Argentina. I think it takes place between the 8th of March to the 20th of March. It'll be in Argentina, South America.
Argentina. And have you fought down in that area before?
I've been in many areas in South America, but I've never been to Argentina specifically.
What up?
I've been to Ecuador, I've been to Colombia, I've been to Venezuela, I have flown through Guyana, I have been to, I think that's about it. Yeah. So Argentina will be my first
So
time going to Argentina.
first time going to Argentina. Have you ever competed against anyone from Argentina as yet?
I haven't. I was scheduled to fight one of their fighters in WSB in 2005, but that fight part came before I was signed and my contract was approved for the league, so I was not able to attend to fight in on that card. But I haven't fought an Argentinian. I fought somebody from Costa Rica, Brazil, the Bahamas, USA, Panama, Venezuela, Colombia. Fought everybody as but an Argentinian as yet.
So in Argentina, will your competition be strictly athletes, boxers from Argentina, or just it's a competition that will draw fighters from across the region or the globe?
Well, for this particular event, it's actually an Olympic qualifier. So what it is actually, for clarification, is the Pan American Olympic qualifier, and what that means is it covers everyone that attended the Pan American Games in Canada
Right.
will be there in Argentina, but there won't be all sports. It'll just be specifically
Boxing.
boxing athletes. So you have athletes from Canada, you have Team Canada, Team USA, each Caribbean island, including Cuba, all the way down to Dominica, Aruba, Curacao, Bonaire, going all the way down to the ABC Islands. You'll have participants, and then you have every participant from all the major countries in South America, from
Right.
Guyana to Brazil to Ecuador to Colombia to Mexico will be there as well. So you have a barrage of athletes. So you have maybe 15 to 25 countries will be present in Argentina, fighting for that spot to represent their country in Rio for the Summer Olympics in August.
That is awesome. So now let's go back. We mentioned it before, but let's go back
Mhm.
to your beginning, your initial involvement with the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee. I'm sure it started with boxing. How did you get involved in boxing?
Um, to be honest, I had no interest in boxing actually. I was very good at music, and I was very good in books. I was smart. My goal was just to get a scholarship playing football and get a free ride to college and get my degree and do the regular 8 to 5. But being in a household full of athletes, my dad, Julian Jackson, he's like, hey, champ, you're getting a little out of shape. Football done, do something. You just home all day, eating and sleeping. Get up and be active. I was like, well, I don't want box. He's like, well, you don't have to box, just walk out. You know what I mean? You can walk on your footing. The lighter you raise, the faster you'll be on the football field. I was like, all right, I'll give it a try. So doing that for a few, do that summer, and then started to do it during school until the season kick off. He's like, man, there's a little tournament in Puerto Rico. Would you like to go? So you in high school, 10th grade. The time you get to go to Puerto Rico for free. Come on, man, who's gonna turn down? I was like, count me in, let's go. I went and I fought a guy and I won. And he's like, how you like it? I was like, man, it feels good. He's like, you think you want to fight again? I was like, yeah. And after that, I mean, it's just history in the wind. You know what I mean? Just been stuck ever since.
They had a good
Ever
plan.
since.
They got you in there. They gave you a little taste of it, and you're hooked.
That was it. That was it. He gave me the little piece on the side, and after that, I had to get a whole plate. But my first interaction with the Olympic Committee came in 2008 in Trinidad and Tobago when I went for the 2008 Olympic qualifiers, and I lost in the semifinals to at that time the number one super heavyweight in America. His name is Michael Hunter. I lost to him in the medal rounds and I won bronze, but I needed to win gold to be able to participate in the 2008 Olympics.
Right.
And there was one more qualifier that I could have attended, but it fell on the week of my graduation from high school. And I was a minor. My mom was like, you ain't missing your graduation, so you can go to graduation. You could go to the next Olympics. So that was my first encounter with the Olympic Committee, and it's been history since then. From going to the it's been history since then. Going to the Junior Olympics in Guadalajara, Mexico, to going to the Pan American Games, going to the CAC Games in Puerto Rico, the Trio Ponte Games, the Olympic Cup. I mean, the Olympic Committee has taken me all over, going to the World Championships in 2009 in Milan, Italy, where I lived there for 4 weeks when I was elected from the Olympic Committee and the International Boxing Association for my accomplishments and my potential to be a applicant for the Road to Milan training camp. So they housed me, and I was living in Italy for almost 4 months, training and competing up there, and that was a great experience. I came out being ranked in the top 40 in the world for my weight class that session, and I mean it was just a great experience overall for me as an amateur. I mean, like I say, like, I could go on and on where the VI Olympic Committee has paid for or paved the way for me and made it a possibility for me to travel to these different locations because I couldn't travel on my own accord and pay for these tickets, but the VI Olympic Committee has came in and done their thing. Even giving me luggage, uniforms, shoes, socks, hats.
Yeah, it's a lot involved. It's a lot involved to take care of the athletes. Now,
Sir.
For me personally, and a couple weeks ago on the show, we had the president of the Boxing Federation, Jose Tony Rosario, and I was speaking with him, and I told him that Veracruz, Mexico was my introduction to the Olympic style boxing, and that was actually the CSC games, Central American and Caribbean games. And for people like me, the everyday civilian, when you see boxing on TV, 9 out of 10 times it's a brawl. It's,
yes, sir.
They're going at it full speed, but the organized Olympic boxing, far from it. It's a chess match almost. And I was surprised that so when people say, oh, I have to fight this guy, I'm thinking, this is gonna be all out guys swinging wildly trying to knock each other's block off, and no, it's more strategic, absolutely sizing up your opponent and trying to get those blows in there where they actually count, because it's not like every thrown punch gets counted. So
exactly.
So
it's a tactical thing. I mean, it's tactical warfare. People think of boxing as being two brutes, two guys who are brainless and just want to fight, trying to knock each other heads off. And in actuality, boxing takes a lot of mental capacity. It's an intellectual sport, because in my mind, I'm trying to hit you as much as I can, as cleanly as I can, without receiving any punches at all, or if I have to, receive minimal. And amateur boxing is not like professional boxing you see on TV, where you have the weigh-in the day before, the face off, and then you fight that night, and then that's it. You go home. That's not it. In amateur boxing, once you win, you qualify to the next fight, and depending on the size of the tournament and the duration, you will fight every night. So amateur boxing is very much technical because you don't want to go swinging for the fences and then you mess up a shoulder or you hurt a hand or break a knuckle, because now that ends your event that ends your career for that particular tournament.
Right.
And in these qualifiers and these different games, it's single elimination. Unlike some different sports, there are multiple double eliminations, or you go by time and then you fall into the losers bracket. There's no losers bracket. There's win or lose. That's it. And sometimes these tournaments you fight tonight, and you win. You see these guys suit up, put on a sweat jacket, and they take off running around the arena or the escape or the shuttle box because you have to make the exact weight that you made this morning again tomorrow morning.
Right.
And if you miss it by a pound or by a quarter of a pound, you're disqualified, and that's the end of your career as well. And your country is now upset because that's money spent that you lost, not in the ring, but to the scale. So there's a lot more goes into amateur boxing than you would believe. The rest portion is very minimal. And I've been fortunate to be in the weight class that I'm in, where we're not as heavily populated as the guys who are fighting like 112 and 154, where they have over 80 participants in their weight division. I'm fortunate to have maybe 20 to 25. So we normally get maybe a day in between fights sometimes. Right. But for the qualifiers in Tijuana, Mexico, I fought every day once I won.
So just, that's one of the policies that I have in my office. The reward for good work is more work. So, it seems like you're almost punished for winning, but that is the reward of a champion is to continue to fight and continue to prove that you are indeed, the best in the ring. And, it like I said, it was a shocker to me to see how strategic and how mental of a game the boxing was in Oregon. And I was shocked and so pleased, because then it's like anyone can appreciate this, because you have those who are against the contact sports, whether it's football or boxing. They don't want to see two guys competing at all, trying to injure each other. And this is the point with the amateur boxing. They're not trying to injure each other. You have on your protection, and it's very controlled. The referees, the highest caliber referees. I was surprised at the caliber of referees that you have. Not only that, as a matter of fact, your corners must have trained, qualified personnel. They can't be just your uncle coming to stand by. You have to have trained personnel. So who are some of the trained people? I think we lean on, was it someone from Barbados? It was in...
someone from Barbados and Bahamas.
Right, because they have qualified ring personnel.
The three-star AIBA coaching qualification.
So that's no walk in the park. Again, that's international recognition and achievement. No walk in the park,
that's definitely. And the thing is, what to complement what you said, amateur boxing is not that senseless, mindless sport. Amateur boxing shows you the finesse and the poise that it takes to be a true fighter. Fighting takes a level of finesse. It takes a level of understanding and respect for the sport. If you don't respect boxing, boxing will not respect you. And many people don't respect boxing because they think it's a situation where everybody's just going at each other with no kind of remorse to their participant. But we are very aware of our participants, and we want to win, but for our opponent to be safe as well. And to understand the sport, you have to get in there and see it beyond what you see on TV and what people put out there in the news. You have to get to know a boxer, get to know the gym, get to know the coaches, and see us train with each other. It's a brotherhood, it's a family, and you don't want to see your brother get hurt,
right?
And you don't want to see a friend get hurt.
Okay,
and at the end of the day, we just want to win and bring home the victory to our country, to our families, and to our friends and those who support us.
Awesome. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to take a quick break. I have a couple of messages here for VIOC in Action, and then we'll be right back talking with Clayton Laurent, super heavyweight boxer for Team ISV. We'll be right back. Alrighty, welcome back to VIOC In Action, and we're here in discussion with Clayton Laurent, super heavyweight boxer for Team ISV.
What's going on, man? I'm back.
Now, you know, it gives me goosebumps every time it's mentioned that we have an athlete that is training to go to Rio. What is the road to Rio going to be like for Clayton Laurent?
To go to Rio, it's an inspirational road. It's a road full of faith, humility, and just drive. I've been boxing for a long time, and every fighter's dream is to represent their country in the Olympics. To be an Olympian in itself speaks magnitude to your level of skill, your aptitude as a fighter, and just your overall poise as being one of the best to do what you do in your part of the world. And that's what it means to be an Olympian. It's not something to be taken lightly. And to be an Olympic medalist certifies that and ironclads it as you being an elite fighter of your area and your weight division. And the road to Rio has been it's been a long one. Been getting ready from 2014 in hopes of being prepared for this day, and I'm here now. And there's been a lot of tournaments going through, rechanging my style, fixing holes, and adjusting my offense and my defense. Fighting through some injuries, through different fights, and just opening myself up to be able to grow as a fighter. As a fighter, you never stop growing, and as an athlete, you never stop learning. There's always something better that you can do. There's always a better technique that you can implement into your gaming plan. Either you're a runner or a boxer or a swimmer. There's always that extra stroke or that extra step that you could take off of the blocks to propel you into the winning bounds. And that's what it's been thus far.
For Clayton Laurent, you mentioned that you're gonna have to do a little tweaking of whether it be your stance, your punches, or whatever. Is this something that you learn in fights against other opponents that may have exposed one of these vulnerabilities or weak points?
Definitely. Within every fight is different. Every fighter brings out a different part of a fighter. There are some fighters who fight consistently one way, and there are fighters who adapt based on what is in front of them. And based on my experience and what my coach has told me, I'm one of those fighters who sometimes, and most times I adapt to what's in front of me. Depends, the man is taller, shorter. It depends on what game plan I'll execute to receive the victory. And sometimes within the fight, I don't see what I did wrong. For me, I'm doing the best that I can to achieve the victory. And at the end of the day, that's what I go for. But it's after looking back at tapes, looking at myself after the fight, looking at the fight 2, 3, 4 times with the coaches and, watching it like 2 days after with a fresh eyes again. And you see different things that I could have done better. I could have kept my front foot a little bit bent, with better bend. I could have pivot a little bit more on the right hand. There's always a little bit more finesse that I can do or use, in the ring. And like I say, boxing, you can always learn something from your mistakes or from your wins, and sometimes, you win a fight and you're like, yeah, I won. So there's no need to go back and ridicule or criticize anything because I won. But in this fight game, as much as I'm watching myself, there are people watching me too. And there are people who are expecting you to come back the same way. So I try to look at things that punches that I got hit with that I could have avoided if I was in a better position. So just things that so yes, to answer your question, yes, I did learn it from past experiences, but it came not only from fights but also from tapes and from in the gym too as well. I spar with world class fighters. I spar with Judas Jackson, John Jackson. I used to spar with Samuel Rogers when he was located in Ireland. He recently relocated to Florida. And my teammates, and in the gym, we see different things and the coaches see flaws that I have done while punching the bag or doing the mitts, so it comes from many different areas of the fight game, not only in the ring, but also in training camp, and that's where we find holes as well, things that I can do better based off of sparring and just even shadow boxing where I'm hitting nothing but air, and they can tell by just my foot placement what I'm doing wrong and what I need to correct.
And for those of you just tuning in, We are here talking with Clayton Laurent. You're listening to the VIOC in action. And Clayton Laurent is a super heavyweight boxer for Team ISV. And
Yes,
how
sir.
strange was it when you, I guess for me it was strange. So I'm going to try and find out if it was strange for you. When you first got involved
Hmm.
with the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee and then you traveled and then you're not Team VI, you're Team ISV. Was that something strange for you?
It was crazy for the first time I didn't understand. I was like, who the heck is ISV? I was like, I don't know what's ISV. I'm from the Virgin Islands. Like, we from the USVI. So they called my name up to Wayne. They're like, oh, Team ISV. I was like, so there's like, they keep calling them. I don't know. Like, it's like, where you from? I was like, the Virgin Islands. They're like, what your name is? I was like, Clayton. It's like, oh, ISV. I was
Right.
like, I'm not from ISV though. So it's not till after like, it's not till after the weigh-in. I went to the coach. I was like, yo, who is ISV? It's like, that's a Latin version or Latin translation for our country code, which is Islas Viernes.
Correct.
It is Spanish, so it's ISV, not USVI. So it definitely threw me for a loop because I was like, who the heck is this? I don't know who this was. I don't know this team.
Right. And
So
it's the
it was
same.
confusing. But after being
No.
involved with the Olympic Committee for a number of years now, over 4 years. Well, I've been boxing and represent the country through the VA, OCE and the Olympic Committee, and I've grown to understand, respect, and appreciate ISV, and I wear it as much as I would wear my 3-4 and my flag. It is who we are to them, and I rep it as I would rep anything and anywhere I go in the country or in the world.
That's right.
We are the Virgin Islands, and whether they pronounce it in Spanish or English, we are the VI, and we are one. We are St. Thomas, St. John, St. Croix, WADA, and Hassel Island. It's not just St. Thomas. Even though I'm from here, I represent the Virgin Islands. I don't represent St. Thomas or St. Croix, but the Virgin Islands cumulatively, and I think that's something that we should hold there. We are known and well respected in the in the world as athletes and boxers. So the Vonanas is definitely large. We're small to them, but big in quality and talent. So we
Yeah.
definitely have nothing to be ashamed about.
And with the one of the promotions that VIOC in Action is trying to do is indeed spread the word about Team ISV. So when people watch, whether it be the Olympic or the Pan American Games, they can know that Team ISV is actually Team VI. And as you
Yes, sir.
mentioned, the designation is not a English designation. As you mentioned, it's Latin. So we're fine. We're taking that, and like you said, we're going to take Team ISV to new heights. And now, talking about
Yes,
Team
sir.
ISV, one of the most important aspects in having a discussion with the president of the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee, Mr. Angel Chico Morales, he is 100% motivated about getting youngsters involved in sports for all, boxing, basketball, everything. He wants the continued interest of children into sports. And you being a super heavyweight boxer in the gym, do you have like a lot of children around, guys working out or just doing the exercise or just being gainfully occupying their time? Do you have children surrounding you in the gym?
Oh, definitely. Every day we have kids in the gym who come to me and always tell me, they want to be like me. They like what I do, and they want to travel and this and that. It's a humbling feeling to know that I can be an inspiration to kids behind of me, because growing up as a kid, I had people in front of me who I looked up to, in the sporting world and that's in life. And I just want to put it out there to that's kids period. You don't have to be a boxer. Whatever sport you do or whatever you're into, continue to push to be the best that you can be. If you are into baseball or basketball, continue to push, because the Volaners have a history of great, 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 great athletes, and we do not do as much as I would like us to do with recognizing our great athletic icons who we've had from the Virgin Islands. Not just those who have Virgin Islands roots, but those who have actually born and raised and walked on St. Thomas, St. Croix, St. John, wherever they have walked and grown up, like the Tim Duncans, the Emil Griffiths, the Julian Jacksons, the Jabari Blashes, the Jamel Cottons, these are, the triplet, his name escapes me right now.
Are you talking
He
about
plays
the
for the
baseball player?
baseball player. His name escapes me now. But these are kids that I grew up with Jabari Blasting Ghetto, was in Building 21, Palmer 168. He grew up in Building 22. His grandmother, we all grew up in the same place playing baseball in the back of our grandparents' building with a mop stick that I teach from my grandmother and an old beat up tennis ball that we find at school in the tennis court, And that's what we grew up doing, playing stick ball or handball. Same way with one of the triplets who was playing for the Astros Major League. I grew up seeing him come to my church after school program, being disgusting and ringing him no-goes when he went conquering because he was disgusting, So these are the people that I brush shoulders with,
right,
and who are now excellent professionally in their individual sports in their own right. And I just want to continue to let people know that the Voidlands has talent. We have everything that they have in the States and wherever they are right here at home. And we just have to continue to cultivate it. Because after I leave the amateurs, I would love for there to be, not another Clayton, because there can only be one me. Right. But I would love to have somebody else to be the next face of the super heavyweight division.
Carry it on for the Virgin Islands, correct?
Yeah. And I want it to be better than me. I tell the kids in the gym all the time, we want to be like you. I said, no. I promise you're going to be better than me. You're going to be Pan American. I went to the Pan American Games twice, but you're going to be Pan American medalist. You're going to do better than I did in every tournament that I went to. I say, you know why? Because you started younger than I did. You have the drive, the motivation. And, I always encourage them to be your best. Be your best. Continue to try hard. No matter if you get, you didn't look the best that you wanted to look in the gym, continue to push, strive for success, and I always try to tell the kids that, success is not always about winning. Success is about persevering through shortcomings and failures, and to know how to win, you have to know how to lose, losing gracefully and winning humbly. And I always tell the kids that's the most important part. It's not always about the win. Sometimes you have to lose to win, and I push them in education too. I believe that education is the key. And professional athletes, we always fall short in the education department because of our talent supersedes our needs to want to get educated, and we end up broke or being misused financially by people who are educated. So I want to put that out there that education is a must, and that you should further your education as far as you can, when you can, and continue to put that your education is key with your sport, so that you can reap the benefits financially for you and your families and your kids.
Absolutely.
To succeed after you,
Very important
and that
lessons.
is definitely key.
And, you have less of a worry when it comes to that because you have Team ISV behind you, members from the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee that do so much work when it comes to preparation of a fight, because it's not like they send your email, hey, you're fighting Tuesday, and you come to a major event. There's meetings that set everything up, the way that they draw the fight,
Yes,
make sure your accommodations are satisfactory, make sure your equipment is where it needs to be, make sure you have the right people in your corner, and then you have the language barrier when you're traveling the globe and you're fighting internationally. You always have that could rear its head, and you have a team behind you. Like I said, you have the president of the federation, who's ever present. He's always around, he's always working with you, and he's fortunately one of those people that are involved for many years, knows the ropes, and continues to have Team ISV make strides. And
definitely, and again, I couldn't do it with Sadako Chow, but I couldn't do it again. I have to give another shout out to the VIO Olympic Committee. I could not be where I am, who I am, and do what I love to do if it was not for the VIO Olympic Committee. And I can't stress that enough. We have to continue to give them our support, and I would like that everybody would, if you have a chance, just go on our website, see what is going on in the Voidlands, what the Voidlands is doing on an international globe. We have track stars. We have, the list goes on of accomplishments that we have going on right here from these little 4 racks that we call the Virgin Islands.
Definitely small on the globe, but we, as you mentioned, we have that presence that a lot of people they respect. They definitely respect that we are players in the game, no matter the discipline, and we are doing our thing. Once again, we are here on VIOC in Action, and we're talking with Mr. Clayton Laurent, super heavyweight boxer for the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee. And Mr. Laurent, we want to thank you again for taking the time out to have this interview here for VIOC in Action.
Man, the pleasure is all mine. Thank you for having me on the show. It's a pleasure and it's a humbling feeling to know that I can be a voice to the kids and to everybody out there to preach and to spread a positive influence and a positive note to the community. We are surrounded by so much negative that it sometimes overshadows the positive that's going on. But there's a lot of positive in the Vaughan Islands. There's a lot of love and there's a lot of opportunities for success in and out of our sports in the Vaughan Islands through the Olympic Committee. So I'm just pleased to be here to attest and testify of the great works that they have done and are still doing in the Vaughan Islands in sports today. So thank you for having me on the show.
Alrighty, so that was Clayton Laurent, and we'll take another break. We'll be right back to VIOC in action.
This is your high hurdle specialist, Eddie Lovett, for Team VI, and you're tuned in to VIOC in action.
This is Mr. One Time for the One Time, Leon Hunt, long jump record holder for Team VI. Thank you for logging on to VIOC in action.
Alrighty, welcome back to the VIOC in action. And for those of you who have been tuning in and trying to catch up with what's going on, you can always go online and check out www.virginislandsolympics.org. virginislandsolympics.org. That's our website where you can get all your information, a little bit of updates on what's going on with Team ISV. If you want to send us an email, you can send it to NOC@virginislandsolympics.org. That is NOC@virginislandsolympics.org. Office hours, you can give us a call at 340-719-8462. If you want to check us out on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Virgin Islands Olympics. And if you're out there in the Twitterverse, check us out at Team ISV. Stay in touch with us. Now, for those of you who are wondering what all federations are included in the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee, well, let me give you a heads up. We'll start with archery. Contact for the Archery Federation is Judith Macedon. For the Virgin Islands Baseball Federation, you'd have to give Mr. Dennis Brower a call for baseball. The other federations, Virgin Islands Basketball, Teron Richards. Virgin Islands Bowling Federation, Ronald Moorhead. Virgin Islands Boxing Federation, Jose Tony Rosario. For the VI Chess Federation, Miss Margaret Murphy. For the VI Cycling Federation is Bavern Sage. Our Equestrian Federation is headed up by Regine Fitzner. VI Fencing Federation, you'd have to talk to Eric Patterson. For the Golf Federation, talk to the man, Zeus himself, Nevin Phillips. For the VI Judo Federation, Stanford Fabio. For the VI Sailing Federation, of course, that's Philip Shannon. And for the VI Shooting Federation is Paul Jordan. The Virgin Islands Soccer Federation is headed up by Hilarion Frederick. And the VI Softball Federation is none other than Warren A. Brooks Sr. For the Virgin Islands Swimming Federation is Mr. John Klein. And for the VI Taekwondo Federation is Shalene Gums. Virgin Islands Tennis Federation, you got to contact William McCobe. And VI Track and Field Federation, Ronald E. Russell. For the VI Triathlon Federation, it's Scott Fricks. And for Virgin Islands University Sports Federation, it's Dr. Ronald E. Harrigan. For the VI Volleyball Federation, Miss Lucille Hobson. VI Winter Sports Federation is Dr. Burren Putnam. And VI Wrestling Federation, Shamsi Slaughter. Little bits of information, you guys. Contact our people. Stay up to date with what is going on with Team ISV. And as mentioned before, ISV. Team VI, ISV. Same thing. Just it's a little bit different on how the international scene checks us out, as again the designation of ISV translates to Isla Virgenes, and it's Spanish for Virgin Islands, and they are the ones that are putting things together on a global scale. So although it may not seem that way, they definitely know who we are on a global scale, and we have that designation. So absolutely something to be proud of, to be a member of Team ISV. One other item I want to make big notice of is that the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee, we have a photography contest, and we're encouraging all who has amazing pictures of VI athletes enter this contest, because we have some prizes that are very attractive. The gold prize is $1,000. Our silver prize is $750, and even if you bring home the bronze, you're bringing home $500. So it's definitely a contest you want to get in. Let me give you a little bit of information about that. 2016, of course, we all know that this is the year for the Summer Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro. That's going to be down in August. So the VIOC is kicking off this year in sports by sponsoring a photography contest. The contest is open to all amateur photographers. Let me say that again. All amateur photographers who have incredible photographs of a Virgin Islander demonstrating sport for life by engaging in any sport at any level. So it doesn't have to be a VI athlete that you're capturing, but a Virgin Islander participating or demonstrating sport for life by being engaged in any sport at any level. Photographs will be judged based on a photographer's creativity and visual skills. Subjects in the photograph must be a Virgin Island resident engaged in sports. That matters not, as the level for the subject can be a very beginner to elite athlete, young or old. Our judging panel will consist of Virgin Islanders from all three islands who have a passion for photography, sports, or both. By submitting an entry, each contestant agrees to the entry rules and warrants that his or her entry complies with all the requirements set out in the entry rules. Entries that are incomplete or do not adhere to the rules or specifications may be disqualified. So please take a good look at what you are submitting. And of course, that disqualification is at the sole discretion of the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee. You must provide the information requested, and you may not enter more times than indicated by using multiple email addresses or identities or devices in an attempt to circumvent the rules, or your entry will be disqualified. This is no entry fee at all, so it's a free contest. Just submit your photos. All photos will become property of the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee and will be displayed on the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee Facebook page, its web page, in a public space to be announced in the Virgin Islands. For more information, of course, you can check out the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee's website at www.virginislandsolympics.org, or you can just email the photographs into noc@virginislandsolympics.org. Hey, well, it's time now for VIOC Moment in History. In 1966, several sports-minded citizens of the Virgin Islands agreed that something had to be done to provide our athletes with a better chance to compete on the international level. The first requirement was to affiliate at least 5 sports to their respective international federations by convincing these international federations that their sports were active in the Virgin Islands and that our athletes could compete on a regional level. 6 sports affiliated: track and field, yachting, weightlifting, basketball, fencing, and volleyball. As a result of a major lobbying effort to the International Olympic Committee, the Virgin Islands was granted permission to participate on a trial basis in the 1966 San Juan Central American and Caribbean Games. Despite many difficulties, Carl Plaskett, Ivan David, Listen Sproul, Rudy Thompson, and John Hamber won medals. As a result, the Virgin Islands was granted full membership status in the International Olympic Committee. The Virgin Islands Olympic Committee was built on that auspicious beginning, and with the exception of the boycotted 1980 Olympics in Moscow, has sent a team to every Central American and Caribbean, Pan American, and Olympic competition since 1966. The Virgin Islands Olympic Committee's first Olympic medal was won in 1988 at the Seoul Olympics. The VIOC has grown from its original 6 federations now to 22. The Virgin Islands is extremely grateful to the VIOC founders, Calvin Whitley, Julio Francis Edwards, Vern Carwood, Len Stein, Tracy Jackal, for having the foresight, courage, stamina, and determination to bring the Virgin Islands into the Olympic arena. This is your VIOC Moment in History. So we're just about here wrapping things up for the VIOC in action. We want to thank our guest today, Mr. Clayton Laurent, boxer, super heavyweight boxer for the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee Team ISV. Once again, thank you for tuning in. This has been @Neil Bobbie Thomas, And we'll see you next week here on VIOC in Action.
This is Angel Chico Morales, President